So welcome back to Heather's greenhouse. This is going to be shot over several days, so apologies as the days are going to change, but it is just too hot to be able to do much out here for any length of time. So I'm going to break this project up into multiple days. So I finally figured out and decided what I want to do with the mud pit on the left side of the backyard. So up here, we're going to put in a floating deck, and I'm going to put my polycarbonate greenhouse on it. And then I've ordered these 2 metal raised beds from Amazon. They're not that expensive. That's what all of these on this side are. These are all metal raised beds that I bought off of Amazon. And these big bags, yes, they're Miracle-Gro. I have no problem using whatever is on sale, and we were able to get these buy one get one half off. So we got 2 cubic foot bags of Miracle-Gro potting soil, and I'm going to use that to fill these beds up. I'm just going to do 1 cubic foot bag per bed, and I am going to fill it initially with compost and various things just to make it cheaper to fill up and to fill them in nicely. So I've got a piece of cardboard in the bottom that I'm going to throw the compost in. Then I'm going to put the pot mix in. And like I said, this is going to be multi-day, so I'm not going to show you all that right now. I'm actually just going to go back inside to the air conditioner, stay cool, not push myself, just take it slow, one day at a time. It's just too hot to risk being out here doing, physical labor. And I can't not show off some of the flowers that are blooming. Look at that in that pot. That is just beautiful. That purple is almost like velvet. The flower is absolutely interesting. If y'all have ever seen a velvet Elvis painting, that's what that looks like. It looks like velvet. So when I get to filling up the raised beds over there, I'm going to be frugal about it like everything else. I'm going to use a lot of the plants that I've got in my yard. I'm going to propagate. I'm going to divide. And then things like this that, that's way too big for that tiny little pot. It's probably going to really enjoy getting planted where it's got more soil to spread out the roots and it can grow. So I'll probably put that in one of the raised beds. I've got some zinnias that I grew from seeds over here. That's probably going to go in one of the beds. You can see it's getting ready to flower. And anything that I've got in a pot that looks like it needs, to be planted out, I'll probably go ahead and plant those out. Things in pots can be beautiful, but when it's as hot as it is, you have to water them just about every single day. And that's a lot of effort, especially when it's as hot as it is. So I like to get everything out of pots and plant it in the ground as much as I can. So let me show you this zinnia. There's a bee on it. You can see it's quite spent. But I leave my flower heads on so they get pollinated, and so I get seeds. I allow the seeds to drop so I get free volunteers, as well as I will harvest seed to keep so that next spring I can sow them where I want them to be. Okay, so while it's too hot to work on the new raised beds, we are going to pot up the coleus that we water rooted. Now this is just regular potting soil. What I like to do, I just like to take that's just a bamboo stick, and just poke some holes. And then I just take the rooted cutting and I literally just stick it down in the hole. Now I'm going to use my finger so I can get as many roots down in the soil as I can, so I got to stop. Alright, so the coleus is planted up. We will see how they grow. Okay, so you can see that we made some progress on filling the beds. So in the bottom, I've got the cardboard. Now you might ask why I put cardboard down when this hard baked clay can't even grow weeds. Well, I like the cardboard because the cardboard provides food to earthworms. So it'll actually encourage earthworms to come up and go through all the compost, because in the bottom of this I filled it up with compost. You can see there's some sticks and various things. And then I put that Miracle Grow cubic foot bag of potting soil on top. And I did the same thing with this one. And that was just a huge root ball that was in one of the big pots. And what I did is I took it out and then I put my bamboo in it. So I just had this huge root ball. I'm like, you know what, that's just mass to put in here. So I think that'll be good. Now you can see that neither of these beds are completely full. I could probably use some more soil, but same philosophy as the rest of these metal raised beds over here. The soil is open to the native ground, so I don't need it to be full of potting soil or full of good topsoil. I just need enough good fluffy soil on top so that plants can get established, and then they'll actually go through the cardboard. And that cardboard, as hot and humid as it is here, it's not going to last more than a couple months. And then all the roots will be able to access the native soil and get all the nutrients that they need. So yeah, if you see these beds over here, I don't think any of them are full. Yeah, so this bed's a great example. You can see how low the soil level is. I don't have the money to completely fill these with good soil, so I don't worry about it, but it works for me. I mean, everything is growing over here and beautiful, so there's no reason to change how I did it for the 2 new beds. And I did cut out the dog fennel, and I put a support that's just a piece of bamboo for the flowers. So those are balloon flowers, and they were just tall and loppy, so I just tied them up to that stake. I've got blushing on a tomato. That's exciting. And then in this bed, I did take one of the water-rooted coleus and I just stuck it in that bed. Seems to be doing fine. Now, because I did grow roots in water for the first, I would say, 2 weeks, I'm going to need to make sure that it stays nice and moist. so that it can go from water roots to dirt roots and make that transition and still stay healthy. So I'll need to remember to bring a watering can out here for that one. And another chocolate sunflower. I think what I'm going to do later today is come and cut some of the zinnias for Nancy next door. I mentioned before I give fresh cut flowers to my neighbor next door. She loves them and really enjoys them. So I try to do that whenever I can. That gladiolus looks like that'd be a good candidate to go in that vase. Okay, so to fill up those 2 new raised beds, I am shopping my own garden. So I'm going around and just looking for anything that I think would thrive in the conditions of full sun, a little bit dry, and bulbs are going to do great over there. So I'm going to put all these bulbs in. Okay, so I have shopped the garden, so I have a bunch of amaryllis bulbs that I'm going to be putting in. That pot has various gladiolus. That's a calibrachoa. That's a petunia. And then these are zinnias that I grew from seeds in that pot. All this is going to fill up these 2 beds, and basically I'm going to fill these beds up for free. And oh, I hope I didn't lose them. Nope. And because I've been promising, I do have, maybe you can read that. So moringa tree. These are moringa tree seeds, and I'm going to show you how to plant those up too. All right, let's get going. And because I know I'm going to get asked, I'm going to go ahead and talk about fertilizer. So these beds are ornamental only. I'm not putting any edibles in them. So I am using a slow release all-purpose fertilizer, as well as my Dr. Earth Pure Gold Organic and Natural Fertilizer. I like to use both of them because this has so many other great benefits in it. And then this is just going to be a slow feed so that I don't have to be on a strict fertilizer schedule with these. So you can see this amaryllis bulb really has a lot of roots. I'm just going to kind of break them apart a little bit, and then I'm going to plant it at the same depth, 2/3 the depth of the bulb. And you can plant these out in your garden if you're zone 8 or higher. I've lost a couple over the years, but by and large they come back for me. Okay, so we got everything out of the pots into the beds. Now obviously that pot fell upside down, so I don't know if any of these are going to make it or not. And to be honest, they were a little bit too wet in that pot, so that's okay. Honestly, they weren't going to live in that pot much longer anyway, so having moved them, I've given them a chance to live. But let's talk about moringa. So here's our 2 moringa seeds, and you want to stick them, I would say, to your middle knuckle, deep, and then just cover them up. Now, that's very close to each other, and they need more like 6-foot spacing, but I've had a little bit of trouble with germination, so I wanted to use 2 seeds. If both of them germinate, I'll pick the strongest, cut the other one out. If neither germinate, that's good. We'll deal with that too. We'll buy more seeds. But yeah, if you're in zone 8 or higher, grow your own moringa from seed. It's a lot cheaper and you control what goes in it, so it's very healthy. You can see this bed. And then here's all the empty pots that we need to put away. But I want to show you real quick the moringa saplings that have come up. So I'd bought seeds previously, and look right here. They have come up. Now they're still very small, but as they grow, they're going to get bigger. I like to just harvest the leaves and put them in a salad. That's my favorite way to eat it. But you can put it in your smoothie, whatever you want to do with it. But moringa is extremely healthy, and I recommend you growing yourself. All right, time to clean up. Until next time, happy gardening.